gas debt payment approved to boost power supply. The government has approved a $185 billion or $128 million US payment to settle long-standing debts owed to gas producers supplying power generators. The move is part of a broader push to strengthen Nigeria's energy supply and revive electricity generation capacity, a chronic challenge for the economy. New defense minister vows no more ransom payments to terrorists and kidnappers. The newly appointed Christopher Musa, a retired general and former chief of defense staff, has declared a firm policy: no more negotiations or ransom payments to terrorists and kidnappers. He argued that paying ransoms fuels criminality and stressed that effective counterterrorism requires improved intelligence, justice reforms, fast-track trials, and a nationwide identity database. Legislators demand public naming and prosecution of terrorism financiers. In response to ongoing terrorist and bandit attacks, the House of Representatives of Nigeria passed a resolution calling for immediate public disclosure and prosecution of individuals or groups financing terrorism or kidnappings. The move signals growing pressure from lawmakers for accountability and deeper structural reforms rather than just military responses. Labor union threatens national protest over spiraling insecurity. The Nigeria Labor Congress, NLC, warned that the nation is under siege as kidnappings and violence increase, and threatened to call a national day of mourning and a mass protest if security doesn't improve soon. They criticized the government's security strategy, especially after recent high-profile school kidnappings, demanding accountability and real protection for citizens. Trump is on our necks, Nigerian Senate President Akpabio cries out. During the screening of Christopher Musa, a retired general and former chief of defense staff, Akpabio rejected calls to let Musa get a bow-and-go confirmation. By bow and go, lawmakers meant approving Musa with minimal questioning. Instead, Akpabio insisted on full scrutiny, citing Nigeria's severe security crisis as reason. In making that case, Akpabio declared, even Donald Trump is on our necks, meaning international pressure, especially from the U.S., is on Nigeria's government to tackle insecurity and kidnapping properly.
If we come here and we do politics of bow and go, this is not a period we should say bow and go. Even Donald Trump is on our neck. We have not yet asked him what his response will be to Donald Trump, the President of America. He is not just anybody. Chief of Defense Staff, a nominee for a Minister of Defense of a country, and you stand up and say you should take a bow and go, with so many questions on the mouth of Nigerians, with over 200 Nigerian children in the bush, kidnapped and being tortured. His appointment is heralded all over Nigeria with happiness, because Nigerians believe he has something to offer. Give the man an opportunity to give Nigerians hope to the current insecurity in the country. And we are not here on our own. We are here representing our constituents. And our constituents would like to hear from him whether his appointment will enable them to sleep well, whether their children will be safe in schools. So we are not asking him questions because we don't like him. We are asking him questions because our constituents would have loved to ask him questions at a time like this. So if we come here,
U.S. lawmakers pushed to scrap Sharia from northern Nigeria. At a recent joint briefing of the U.S. Congress, an expert witness, Ebenezer Obadare, Senior Fellow for Africa Studies at the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, urged U.S. legislators to pressure the Nigerian government to declare Sharia criminal law unconstitutional and to dismantle the various Hisbah commissions, religious enforcement bodies in northern states. The argument presented was that extremist groups, including Boko Haram, Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, and radicalized militias exploit Sharia-based systems and Hisbah institutions to enforce forced conversions, persecute religious minorities, and operate with impunity across affected states. As a result, some U.S. lawmakers are reportedly considering linking future U.S. security support to Nigeria with demands for legal reforms, specifically scrapping Sharia criminal codes and dissolving Hisbah enforcement agencies. Reaction inside Nigeria: rejection and defense of sovereignty. The call has been strongly rejected by top government officials. Daniel Bwala, the presidential advisor on policy communication, said the idea that a foreign government can demand constitutional changes in Nigeria, including banning Sharia, is a violation of national sovereignty. He argued that Sharia law operates at state level, not federally, and belongs to Nigeria's constitutional framework. Similarly, several Islamic interest groups, including the Muslim Rights Concern, MURIC, described the U.S. demand as neo-colonial and imperialistic, saying it crosses a red line and violates Nigeria's constitutional and cultural autonomy. The debate has sparked broader arguments over religious freedom, state sovereignty, and the role of foreign influence in Nigeria's internal affairs. Many Nigerians view the issue as deeply sensitive, tying into identity, religion, and Nigeria's federal structure. Now to sports updates. NG, new era for Nigerian football. Veteran defender and former captain William Troost Ekong has announced his retirement from international football, ending a long career with the Super Eagles. Despite that, Ekong says the current Super Eagles squad is ready to lead a new generation, an optimistic signal for the team's future rebuilding efforts. AFCON 25 build-up disrupted by new FIFA rule. A new decision by FIFA has shortened the period clubs must release players ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations 25, forcing many national teams to revise their preparation plans at short notice. This ruling has created uncertainty for several teams that had already planned training camps and friendly matches ahead of the tournament.
That's all for today's news roundup from Kolex TV. If you enjoyed these updates, subscribe to our channel for daily highlights, analysis, and exclusive behind-the-scenes sports stories and news from around the globe. Thanks for watching.